box, and inside the box you've got the camera itself and a mounting kit to stick it on your windscreen, a 12-volt car power adapter with a USB plug on the end, the instruction manual, a GPS antenna. Yes, it doesn't have a built-in antenna, it's separate, and that comes with 3 extra sticky pads to attach it to your car. And one of the good things that I thought about this one was that they put this on the screen so you can't miss it, telling you to use a Class 6 card in it. So I was using a Class 10 in mine. And as you can see here, the lens on the front of the camera can be moved up and down into a few different positions. There's a speaker on the front there as well. On the back here you've got a 16:9 screen, and the lens on the back is in the middle of this 4-way D-pad. You can see it there. Now, the lens on the front of the camera is 140 degrees, and the one facing into the car is 120 degrees. And of course, around that lens there, you've got those 4 buttons, so you've got to be careful you don't smudge the lens when you're pressing those. Right, I'll just turn on the camera and we'll have a bit of a play around with it and see what the different options are. Now you can see on the screen here, it's split down the middle. Just to make that clearer, I'll put this car model on the table here, and now you can see the front camera is the one on the left and the rear camera is the one on the right. A little bit hard to see that because of the light, but you can see there, that's the front camera. Now we'll just press the mode button. That gets into the playback mode, and you flip between the different files you've created by pressing left and right, and OK to play those if you wanted to. Press the mode button again and it's back into record mode. There's only the 2 modes, there's no photo mode or anything daft like that. Now if you press the OK button, you can flip between the 2 different camera views and have those full screen if you want, or keep them split like this. It does stretch them, so it's best just to keep the 2 camera modes on the screen. In the setup menus, we'll just go through these quickly. I'm going to go right down and then back to the beginning just to show you what's there. There's no more options than this. It's a very simple camera, this really. There's very little that you can do with it. One of the things you can do is have it record either the front, the back, or both cameras together. You can set up the time, you can format the card. You can see all these different options on the screen here. They're all pretty much self-explanatory. The LCD default basically turns the screen on or off. The G sensor or G-force sensor can be set to low, normal, high, or off. Now people that have had this in other cameras have sometimes mentioned that the potholes in the road can set off this function. This stops the current file being overridden if the camera is involved in a bump, so the option to turn it off is quite useful. Now the other things on the screen here, I think you've seen them all before, there's nothing special going on there. There's no motion detection in this camera. Now the other thing is at the top right of the screen here, you'll see when I press the power button, it selects between those 2 different squares, and that shows you which is being recorded. You've also got the battery life and the time and date at the bottom here. Now if we set it recording here and just do a little bit of a test recording, you can see it says record at the top left there, and I'll press the button to stop it recording, and then we'll go back into the playback mode, and then we'll play that back by pressing the OK button at the left here, and now this is the file being played back that we've just recorded. Just to demonstrate what it kind of looks like really. So it's as simple as that. Let's have a look at the mounting options. Well, this is the thing that attaches to the camera, rather strange looking device. It clips on the front here, it's plastic, and it clips on the back there, as you can see, holds it quite firmly in place. It still enables you to move that lens up and down, and I suppose you could put that either on the top or the bottom of the camera depending on which way up you wanted to mount it. And then what you do is of course screw it into this tripod type mount here. And there you go, that's how it would attach to your car. It's got 2-way orientation, you can move it up and down and tilt it left and right. Now it's quite easy to get it out of that mount again. You can just sort of pull it out like that. So once you've got the mount on your windscreen, it's very easy just to leave the mount there and pull the camera out, which is quite handy. Of course, the thing that we haven't done yet is attach all the wires to it, which does make that a little bit more complicated. So let's have a look at those. Well, first off, this is the GPS antenna. It's got this strange plug on the end of it, this sort of 4-way plug here. Now, it doesn't have a built-in antenna, so if you want GPS, you're going to have to attach this, and it does come with those spare stickers that I mentioned before. It goes behind this flap on the end of the camera here, and in there you've got your micro SD, your USB, and the plug for the GPS. Now we'll just get that micro SD out. You see it's a little bit fiddly just pulling that out of there, but as I mentioned before, I'm using a Class 10 card during my test, but it does recommend a Class 6 as a minimum. Now one thing that I really didn't understand is why they had the rubber flap over the end of this, because the camera's pretty useless without all these wires and things attached. So why would you bother putting a cover over that? But anyway, we'll plug in the GPS antenna here into the little socket if I can do it properly. And there you go, it pops in there like that. And now we'll plug in the car 12V power adapter. So we'll just get the standard USB mini B lead here and just plug that into that end there. And now you can see what the thing actually looks like when it's properly wired up. And that rubber flap that I was mentioning there just sort of sticks out in a kind of annoying way. So I think if I was doing this properly, I'd probably just pull that off completely, because I just don't see the point behind that. It's just really...
kilometers. Pretty accurate.